Welcome to the Maverick Media Network and the 5th episode of the Checkdown with Coach Mitchell. My name is Brian Hardy. I am your host today. As always, we are joined by head coach of the Germantown Maverick football program, Coach Russell Mitchell. Coach Mitchell, thanks as always for coming in again.
Yeah, glad to be here. Appreciate the sports marketing team, Coach Blaine, putting us together, and appreciate you hosting the show.
Rain's pushed us back inside. Got a lot going on. Got 9th grade football in our team room next door as they prepare to look at the film from last night in their game. I'm sure Coach Mitchell will catch us up here in just a moment on how our 7th grade, our JV program on Monday night turned out, as well as our 8th and 9th grade teams last night. This first segment sponsored by PJ's Coffee of New Orleans, our halftime post-game sponsor on our live stream each Friday night, located just off of Lake Harbor Drive there in Ridgeland. And Coach, why don't you catch us up real quickly on what's been going on so far this week inside the football program?
Our JV team went over to Brandon Monday night, won another one. We were able to beat them 16-0. That group's 5-0 and only giving up one touchdown this year. So really proud of our JV guys. They've done a great job. Got one more against Pearl during fall break, and we'll wrap up our JV season. Our 8th grade team played here last night against Clinton. Got a big win, 22-14. That puts them in the Little Six championship game. So they're the West Division champs, with one loss coming against Byram early in the season, and we'll get to play Byram again in the championship. So I know that group's really looking forward to going down. That game's going to be at Terry High School at 6 o'clock on I believe it's October 7th, the Tuesday during fall break. They're going to be playing at Terry High School and trying to avenge that one loss they had to Byram. So really, really proud of that group and excited for the opportunity they've got. Our 9th grade team's got one loss as well. They beat Clinton 28-6 last night. And, unfortunately, their lone loss came in the west side of the conference, so they're not going to be. Doesn't look like they're going to be in the hunt for the championship this year, unless Vicksburg were to upset Warren Central this coming Tuesday. But they've had a really great year as well. They're 4-1, so all our feeder programs are doing great, winning games, and doing it in dominant fashion. So. Just can't tell you how much I appreciate those coaches and those players for the what they put on the field this year. And there's been a lot of hard work that's gone into that, a lot of preparation, and they've done really, really well in representing our school and our football program.
Let's switch gears, talk about this varsity Maverick football program. 4 games into the season now, records 2-2. What are your thoughts so far about a month into this thing?
You know, we set up a tough schedule with the intentions of getting us ready for our district play. And at times, I think we've looked as good as anybody in the state. Certainly have looked explosive on offense when we're at full strength and hitting on all cylinders. And there's been other times where we struggled a little bit on both sides of the ball. Think about the offensive struggles we had against Northwest Rankin starting out the year. And the defensive struggles we had at Warren Central. So just want to see more consistency on both sides of the ball. And if we can ever get there, we're going to be really hard to deal with when we get into our district schedule, when we play Starkville and Oxford and Madison and Clinton and Murrah. And but like I said, played this tough district non-district schedule to get us ready for that. And overall pleased. If there's anything I'd like to see us do better, it's just be more consistent physically. Because there's teams that are going to run the ball right at us, and we're going to have to run the ball to have success in this league. And but no, overall our kids have been good and prepared, and we're fairly healthy. 4 games in, we've got little dings and nicks and bruises that we've got to deal with, and our players got to learn to deal with some pain. Thankfully we've only had one major injury, and We'd like to get Jeremy Matthews back later in the season when we're into that district schedule. But I'm optimistic that we've got a good football team, senior heavy, very experienced, explosive. We've scored a touchdown, I think, 16 out of our last 21 times we've had the ball. So, and the defense has played well at times. So, just really, really optimistic about where this team can go.
Let's do this. Let's talk about some guys that maybe don't show up all the time in the stat sheet, box score. I know I get to hear you talk about those guys on a regular basis just down here in the field house, but why don't you catch us up on some of those guys, maybe pick out some that maybe those guys in the trenches or so to speak.
Well, the good thing about this team is all our skill guys offensively are a threat to make a play, and Ashton Smith proved that last week. He's probably one of our more unheralded skill guys, but he blew that game wide open when he got going the other night, and we got to see what he could do. We got to see what Bryce Johnson could do. Everybody knows what Keyshawn and King and Lawson and Nye are all about, so we've got weapons on offense, but there's some guys down there doing the dirty work that don't always get the credit. I think we've probably got the best 210-pound center in the state. Absolutely. And Cam Porter, Wells Higginbotham, and Jay Allison do a great job for us at guard, and Everett Turnage is our left tackle. He's a big old rascal, and when he's going and when we can keep him fired up and motivated, he's dominant and can be dominant. I just hope he's not satisfied with being big. We got to get Everett to play hard all the time and to try to be the best he can be. And he's still young and still developing. And then over at right tackle, we've used a combination of Trey Small and R.J. Arnold on that side of the offensive line, and they're improving every week. And then Will Harris and Reed Burrell play tight end and H-back respectively, and they do a really good job at the point of attack for us at blocking. So, I love those blockers. They're my favorite players on the team. You don't always hear about them. They don't get all the mentions because they don't touch the ball much, but they're our motor, and they're what keeps us going offensively. And same thing can be said for the defensive side of the ball. RJ, as I mentioned earlier, plays right tackle for us. He also plays defensive line. Jaden Gross and Dylan Travis are two guys that we're relying on heavily to help us anchor that defensive line. So those linemen, they don't get the credit, and but that's where the game's won and lost, is at the line of scrimmage. So when they're on, the ball's usually moving, and when they're not, that's usually they don't get all the credit for the touchdowns, but they're the ones that cause them.
Well, let's take a short break. When we return, we'll recap the 49-28 homecoming win over Neshoba Central this past Friday night. So don't go anywhere, and let's hear from a few of our sponsors, and we'll be right back after these short messages.
Building a life is different for everyone because everyone is different. That's why State Farm is there.
Call State Farm agent Matt Guillory for a quote today.
Mike Rowe here with a name every Memphis homeowner should know, Groundworks. Now, I've spent time with these guys, and I'll tell you, they handle crawl space encapsulation and foundation repair like no one else. They're trained, certified, and committed to making your experience great. You want to protect your biggest investment? The name to know is Groundworks, now serving Memphis for crawl space and foundation repair. Why don't you give them a call and tell them Mike sent you.
Welcome to Timber Tavern Axe Throwing, the one and only spot for non-stop fun, delicious food, and epic axe throwing right here in town. Whether you're out for a wild night with friends, a one-of-a-kind date, or some serious team bonding, Timber Tavern is where the magic happens. New to axe throwing? Don't sweat it. Our expert instructors will have you hitting bullseyes in no time. So why wait? Come on down to Timber Tavern, Gluckstadt's own entertainment hub where unforgettable memories are made every day. Ready to join the fun? Visit us at timbertavernaxe.com or give us a call at 601-707-2580 to book your lane today.
We're back here on the Maverick Media Network. Checkdown with Coach Mitchell. Brian Hardy alongside Coach Russell Mitchell. Delighted to be with you on this nasty, severe weather day, but a lot of rain out there, but I hadn't heard anybody complain about that yet.
No, hopefully some cooler temps on the way.
I think you're right. Maybe we're about to get into some fall football weather here, hopefully. This segment is brought to you by Hometown Property Group. If you're interested in buying or selling a home, be sure to contact Mary Claire Putman at Hometown Property Group. Mavericks cruised Friday night to a 49-28 victory over the Neshoba Central Rockets. Coach, got to be pleased with the way your team responded Friday night.
Yeah, we didn't get off to the best start. You know, they won the toss and received and took it right down and took a 7-0 lead on us. And then kicked it off to us, and we ran it all the way back. So that was a nice response. They got the ball back and moved it with some success running the ball on the second drive. And I thought our defensive staff made a nice adjustment, moving from an even front to an odd front. That seemed to make a big difference in the game for whatever reason. So you got to tip your hat to Coach Washington and his crew for making the necessary adjustments. And then we got the ball offensively and had an explosive play and fumbled. So I think we looked up, there was 2 minutes ago in the first quarter, and we'd run one play. So it's kind of a weird start to the game. But after that, we got our defense locked in. They played well the rest of the night, and we managed to score 5 touchdowns in the second quarter and got that old running clock again. But I tell you what, you know, getting into all that and the specifics of the game is one thing, but anybody that was here Friday night to tell you that's a heck of an atmosphere for high school football. There was a great crowd. Electric atmosphere. I think it's something our players feed off of, and I can feel it's growing. You know, we talked about after the Oak Grove game what a great crowd it was and what a big night it was for everybody in the community, and then I thought Friday night against the Neshoba Central was even better crowd. So you've been around here a lot longer than I have, but we're filling that home side up. We're playing teams that bring a good fan base, and it's a good place to be on Friday night to take in a ball game. So, but again, I think that's something our team feeds off of. Playing at home is a big advantage for us. It's an electric atmosphere. We do a great job with our jumbotron and all the bells and whistles that go along with the game production. Now, you know, this week I want to see if we can win one on the road. We're 0-2 on the road, 2-0 at home. We're going over to Pearl Friday night, and so that's one of the things we challenged our team to prove is that we can, you know, go on a streak and win 2 in a row, and that we can win a road game. But we played really, really well at home. And that starts with our fans and the atmosphere that we have right here at the ranch.
There's no doubt. I mean, the excitement around this year had been brewing all summer long, and then as we got to the beginning of the season, you know, there with the Oak Grove game again, with Neshoba coming in this past Friday night. But the atmosphere is going to be a tough one for anybody that comes in here to play, and that is, you know, a lot to be said for what you've done and the excitement that you brought to Gluckstadt and the Germantown High School on Friday nights. It's very special, no doubt. I want to run through some offensive stats from Friday night, so bear with me, Coach. I want to get all these names called. Coach Blaine and our sports marketing group's done a great job of getting the graphics that you'll see here shortly. We'll go through offense first and let you touch on, you know, the ones that were calling our top performers. A lot of guys, but we try to choose some guys each week. And King White was 5 for 11, threw for 184 yards and 1 touchdown passing there. He also rushed for a touchdown. Nia Johnson had 9 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown. Langston Branson, 8 for 9, passing for 52 yards. I know you might want to touch on that, been able to use him a little bit at quarterback. May need him down the road somewhere there at that spot. Also, he had 6 carries for 33 yards. Lawson Branson had 5 carries for 27 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ashton Smith, you talked about earlier, had that 32-yard touchdown catch. And then you also mentioned Bryce Johnson earlier, 84-yard kickoff return.
Right, yeah, you know, we're blessed to have playmakers, and we're really explosive. And one of the things you're going to notice with these ball carriers is those stats are pretty well dispersed every week. You're not going to not going to have any necessarily a guy that rushes for 200 or 300 yards in a game because we do spread it around and we do have weapons. So that's a nice thing to be able to have. You mentioned the touchdown that King scored running the ball. I thought we called a play that didn't work, and he just made something happen. We tried to sneak our tight end out on a little play action pass. He got hung up, didn't get a clean release, and King just made a play on a 4th and goal. I thought that was a really big play in the game for him to get that one in. We already talked about Bryce with the kickoff return. I thought that lifted our team's spirits after we fell down 7-0 early. Nye ran hard. That touchdown he scored, I think the guy hit him on about the 4, and he just bowled his way into the end zone. So he runs the ball really hard for us. He's a guy that gives us consistent effort. And again, with the numbers being spread around the way they are, all these guys are unselfish. You don't hear them complaining a lot about not getting all the glory, and they understand. We've got 2 good running backs. We've got 3 good receivers, a good tight end. We've got a couple good quarterbacks. It's nice to see Langston get in there and operate the other night. I thought he did a really, really nice job on limited practice reps. Go in there and go 8 for 9 and run the triple option the way he did is pretty impressive. So he's a guy who's got a bright future ahead of him here. King being a senior, it looks like Langston's the future of our team at quarterback. And so it was nice to get him in there and get him some experience. We played another one of these games where everybody kind of was done early in the 3rd quarter. You worry a little bit about with your conditioning, but we bounced back and had a good week of practice as far as pushing them and the kids being willing to get tired. And I think that's something you got to do when you don't necessarily get a full workout on Friday night, is make sure that we push them to the limit in practice. And it's been hot Monday, Tuesday. It looks like we're getting a cold front coming through right now, but it's not easy to push yourself on Monday and Tuesday when you're coming off a big win and a homecoming dance and all the excitement. And, so hopefully we can get another good day in today and tomorrow and be ready to play Friday.
Let's flip over to the other side of the ball defensively and talk about some guys. Parker McGee had 7 tackles. 2 of those were for a loss. Had a couple pass breakups involved there too. Dylan Travis, mentioned him earlier, 7 tackles. 3 of those were for a loss. And Max Smith shows up again in our top performers with 4 tackles and 2 for a loss. Our offense is something that and I can say this, it seems we can hang our hat on each week, and that goes 4 years back to when you arrived here. We've been able to move the football consistently every year. Defensively, we've all, we talked about it on the show. We're still trying to find our identity, so to speak, trying to do some things. But I think with our offense being able to score the way they do, takes a little bit of pressure off that defense to know, hey, we just got to do our job and make a few stops. And I thought that's exactly what our defense did last week.
Yeah, they did. They made some explosive plays, too. One of those balls that Parker got his hand on ended up being an interception return for a touchdown. He was able to get his hands up, tip it up, and Kenthravis Francis picked it off and ran it in for a touchdown. So that was a game changer for us, and we're going to need our defense to turn the ball over. Mike Johnson had an interception in the game. Jaden Gross had a big sack. Dylan Travis played well, like you said. Max Smith's a really good tackler coming out of the secondary for us, and we want a group that's going to run to the ball and tackle well. And I think that's where teams are going to try to challenge us after the way the Warren Central game went, is that we're going to have to prove that we're going to be physical and stop the run. And I think we've got skilled guys on the back end that can hold up in coverage, and we've got the defensive linemen up front that can rush the passer. We just got to make our mind up to be physical and set the tone early in stopping the run game. If we can do that, I think we'll be able to build leads in games and win games. So, but I was proud of the way our defense played for 3 quarters the other night. Like I said, I thought we made a good adjustment, getting out of the 4 down front into the 3 down front, and that seemed to shut it down in the run game. They got off to a good start running the ball early, and then we ended up holding them under 100 yards total rushing for the game. Like I said, when you have a lead, that helps too, because they feel like they got to throw the ball a little more. And then we were able to get a couple picks and make some explosive plays and score on defense. So really excited about how good this team can be. And the defense feeds off the offense, and the offense feeds off the defense and the special teams. And when we're clicking, I really think we're as good as anybody and that we can beat anybody in the state.
I agree. Again, Mavericks win big last Friday night over the Neshoba Central Rockets by a score of 49-28. When we return, we'll preview Friday night's game as Mavericks hit the road again and travel to Pearl High School. Kickoff 7 p.m. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Boulware Vassar Orthodontics are specialists in creating beautiful smiles for kids and adults with 3 locations in the greater Jackson area. Our orthodontists are experienced, caring, and along with our friendly staff are waiting to align your bite, transform your smile, and boost your self-confidence with multiple treatment options including Invisalign and tooth-colored braces. With 3 offices in Lakeland, Ridgeland, and Clinton, contact Boulware Vassar Orthodontics today.
Selling land in Mississippi requires expertise that is tailored to our unique market. At Pursuit Properties, we specialize in land transactions. We offer valuable insight into pricing, regulations, and helping you identify those potential buyers. We help sellers set realistic goals and expectations, ensuring a smooth and successful sale process. With a focus on accountability and clear communication, Pursuit Properties guides our clients through every step, keeping you informed and empowered. You can trust our team at Pursuit Properties to work hard for you and maximize the value of your property. We are always in pursuit.
Elite Physical Therapy wishes all the players a healthy and successful football championship season. Elite is proud to serve the local communities with multiple locations providing secure outpatient therapy and sports medicine services. Our centers specialize in post-op rehabilitation, manual therapy, concussion management, and orthopedics, providing patients convenient scheduling and access to care within 24 hours. If you suffer from an injury, visit myelitept.com to find a center near you. That's myelitept.com. Elite Physical Therapy, proud to serve the state of Mississippi.
So how's the old house search going?
Buying a house is hard.
Oh, you tried getting help from real people?
That'll be $22.50. I got this.
Oh, well, that was fast.
Community Bank, for over 120 years.
We're back on the check down with Coach Mitchell. This final segment today, courtesy of Rick's Pro Truck. Trucks live here. Rick's Pro Truck located right off of Calhoun Station Parkway, just past us here at Germantown High School. Mavericks will travel to Pearl on Friday. Kickoff set for 7 p.m. Pearl is 1-3 on the season, Coach, but I know I've heard you say not to let that record fool you. This is a team that's won a state championship here in recent years.
Yeah, Pearl's dangerous. Clinton won a hard-fought game against them Friday night, and Clinton's got a good football team. The week before that, they beat Florence 39-0. They won lost a close game to Madison Central. So they're a quality team, and the first thing you notice when you turn the film on with them is they're really physical. Nobody's just smashing the ball down their throat and taking their wheel. They're gonna play hard. They're gonna be physical. They've done a good job of stopping the run. They've got a really, really strong defensive line. They got 2 inside linebackers that come downhill and hit you. So they're gonna make you earn every yard you get. And then offensively, they haven't lit up the scoreboard, but everybody knows how good their quarterback is. And they were without him last year. He missed the season with an injured knee. He's back. They've got another couple of explosive players on offense that have made big plays for them that can take it the distance. Number 0 is a little guy that plays in the slot, plays some running back, and he can fly. I mean, if you don't have a hold of him, he'll make you pay. And the quarterback's a fast kid too that can throw it. He's, from what I understand, a smart kid. Knows how to run the offense. So you're not going to go over to Pearl and get an easy win. That's not what's going on in their world, certainly. And you're gonna have to earn everything you get. And they're old school. They're going to run the football. They're going to stop the run. And those are the teams that are usually successful. And I look for them to be a playoff team in Region 3 when it's all said and done. So we're looking forward to the opportunity. Again, this is one of those games that we scheduled of a 7A opponent. To go over there and help us get prepared for our upcoming district schedule. And they're going to give you that kind of physical battle. They're going to give you that kind of physical test where you've got to earn yards, and they've got playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, and they block well. So they're a tough stop on defense as well.
Well, next week you got the bye week, and the week following that we'll be on fall break here at Germantown. And now I'm gonna be honest with you, I've talked to some of them teachers up there, and I believe you're probably gonna be up for Employee of the Month for scheduling the bye week on that Friday before we get to go home for fall break. So there are a lot of Coach Mitchell fans up there right now. But tell us, before we go on the bye week, before we enter region play, what are some things you need to see from this team Friday night over there at Pearl to make you feel a little bit better about heading into that gauntlet of region play that we're going to have to do?
You know, like I said, this will be our fifth game, and this will be the fifth quality opponent we've played, and that takes a toll on your body. We've got some kids with some bumps and bruises and strains and sprains that'll need that week to heal up. We're going to be in a physical war Friday night with Pearl. They're tough, they're strong, you know. So this week will come at a good time for us. But Starkville's off next week too, so both teams will have 2 weeks to prepare for each other. And so we'll probably focus on us Monday, and then Tuesday we'll start our preparation for Starkville. But just want to see, you know, a good team effort. I know our kids will play hard. I know our kids want to win. We're about to get on past this heat. That's one thing I want to see is some cooler temperatures.
We all do.
You know, sometimes it's a struggle to get everything you think you can get out of them in practice. But that usually the kids usually respond better once this heat passes us. But they've done a good job of battling in practice and persevering and preparing through the heat. But no, it'll be the open date will come for us at a good time the week before district starts. But right now we're focused on Pearl. We're going to have to go over there and win a hard-fought ball game, and that's what we're focused on this week's going 1-0.
Well, as always, we thank you for your time, and I know today's going to you got to get creative. I mean, you're going to be pushed inside, looks like. Got to find a place to get some work in. But I know the guys will be ready to go on Friday night, and again, that kickoff will be at 7 o'clock at Pearl High School on Friday night. If you're not able to make it over to Pearl, be sure and tune into our live stream. If you go to GermantownAthletics.com, that's a one-stop shop for everything Germantown Athletics, including our live streams. You can click on the broadcast tab, and it'll take you right to it there. Coach Blaine will have the live stream over there producing that, as he does a wonderful job. We always want to thank him each week. He's behind the scenes today, as he is every week, to put this show out for you. And, Coach, I think that's going to do it.
Yeah, I think you need to go on the record and tell us who's going to win Saturday, LSU or Ole Miss, before we get off the air.
Well, I mean, that's going to be one of those no-brainers at Vaught Hemingway on a Saturday with the LSU Tigers coming in. They might. I don't know. They'll probably stay within 10 or 12 maybe.
Okay.
But no, I don't know. That's going to be a good one now.
I'm looking forward to watching that Saturday. I really am.
And there's getting into that time in high school and college where they're all going to be a lot of fun each week. So.
That's right. That's right.
Well, for Coach Russell Mitchell and producer, live stream, sports information director, do all, Austin Blaine. My name is Brian Hardy, and remember, nothing brings us together quite like Maverick Athletics. We'll see you guys at Pearl on Friday night, 7 o'clock kick.
If you listed your property for sale by owner and nothing's happening, here are the most common reasons why. The property is either overvalued or it's not getting enough exposure in the market. Opting for a real estate agent offers several benefits. With access to extensive marketing resources, including MLS, LandWatch, and other national marketing outlets, we can ensure your property gains maximum visibility. Our agents bring expertise in pricing analysis, ensuring your property is competitively priced for the market. You can trust Pursuit Properties to leverage our marketing abilities and industry knowledge, guiding you through a seamless selling process and maximizing your property's value. We are always in pursuit.
When disaster strikes, it can feel like the worst day of your life. ServPro of Jackson and Madison County is here to help. Serving the community for over 30 years, we specialize in restoring commercial and residential spaces after a fire, mold, or water damage. Proud partners with first responders who confidently recommend our services for any restoration. Worried about insurance? Our dedicated team handles it all. ServPro. We'll make it like it never even happened.